Welcome back to DoItMyself Garage. We're going to be working on my 2014 Buick Enclave today. I have the 3.6 liter variable valve timing. I got about 210,000 miles on this thing now. I have never done the coils or the plugs. I bought a set right here, and it came with the plugs too, which is awesome. So I'll leave a link to that down in the description. But I already pulled the cover off. All you have to do is you just take the oil filler cap off, and then that whole thing just lifts. This whole thing right here just lifts off. And then I put the cap back on so I don't drop nothing down in there. And then I started out, I got one of the coil holders off, and I'll show you how to get the rest of them off. They're pretty easy. There's 3 on the front and 3 on the back. Alright, so the coils are held in by 1 bolt on each one has 1 on the side, and then you got to disconnect the electrical. So just push this down with your finger, and I like to use a large screwdriver to kind of push them back. Be really careful, do not pull on the wires. You will regret that later. Everything is old and crunchy under here. It's been, like I say, 200,000 miles on this one. So just get some leverage somewhere else and pry that little guy off of there. Doesn't take much. There we go. I'll pull him back just far enough. Get the connection off. Like I said, I already did this one over here. The 3 in the back are going to be a little more difficult to get to. There's like nothing metal on this car to put my magnet on. Try to get you back here to show you, but the coils are right down in there. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to get to down in there. I don't know if the camera's even focusing on that. Let me try to zoom in. Zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. What am I zooming on? Yeah, it's right. Oh, there it is. So there's one of the coils. And again, there's 3 across the back. Same thing. Push that little connector down and slide that wiring off of there, and then we have to take that 1 bolt out to get the whole assembly out of there, and then just replace it. This ought to be interesting, because there's actually a little bit more room than what it looks like here. I can get my arm in there, so I'm hoping it's not as bad as it looks. Alright, so I'm going to show you the main stuff to do on the front side of the engine where you can actually see. And then you'll have to just kind of work in the dark back there like I'm going to. It's going to be pretty much impossible to show you, to film the back side. But there's really nothing different. It's the other side of the engine. These are a V6, and I'm actually surprised they left me as much room as it appears they did back there. Alright, so that one's loose. So far, so good. I don't want to jinx myself here. And you could definitely use power tools on this if you wanted to. It's really not necessary. Sometimes I find out that power tools are get yourself into trouble more than anything. I'm trying to talk a little quieter here because my face is right over the top of the microphone. And if you can hear, my granddaughters are out here in the driveway playing with chalk. So if you hear them, that's what that is all about. Hopefully not too much arguing. Alright, so this right hand one, not a lot of room. Let's pop this middle one out. Again, this is the old one, so if you were going to reuse these, I would say be even more careful than I'm going to be right now. But I have no problem using a screwdriver to pop them out of there because I'm putting new ones in. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to, oops, I guess this is not much. But feeling I'm going to have to take a bunch of this wearing loom like loose in order to get stuff in and out. Okay, where does this stuff go? I might have to take the bolt off this top piece here. I don't know. Why does it want to be so stubborn? Okay. One out. 5 more to go. Again, it's not so much getting them loose. It's there's no room to pull them up. There we go. And this third one, I'm not sure what to do with him. I'm going to have to see what this bracket is over here. Looks like this just holds a sensor. Let me look this up and see what this is. You can't see it over here. I've got this bracket, and it's right directly above where I need to pull the coil out. So let me see if I can pull that off of there. Alright, so it looks like there's a bolt down in here. Right there. Focus. So I'm taking him loose. That holds this this piece on. Whatever this is. I'm guessing this is cruise control or something. It's something. So anyway, so I took that bolt loose, just leaving it in there, gonna let it hang down. And now, if I can get the light over here, again, I got no metal on this vehicle under here. There we go. Now we can pull that one out. And still not pulling out. There we go. Okay. Alright, so I've got all 3 coils out on the front. Now I'm gonna looks like I got a little bit of trash here. I should have vacuumed. Let me grab the vacuum real quick, vacuum that up before it ends up down in the hole. Alright, finally found a combination that'll work. I had an adapter here that went from 3/8 up to 1/2 inch, because the only spark plug socket I had was a 1/2 inch drive, but I don't have enough extensions for the 1/2 inch to get down in here, at least on the front side. Kind of needed to get down in there. And that turned out pretty hard, an aluminum head, but I don't see, put some light on this, I don't see any issues, if I can get it to focus. I don't see any issues with the thread. Focus, baby. There. Nothing wrong with it. It's good. Plug looks really good, but there's a lot of miles on that baby. So yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but there's nothing left of the tip on that. Alright, I put a little anti-seize on the threads, because a couple of those were, I'd say, a little rusty. Let me check the gap. I gotta look that up real quick. Alright, so the factory gap is 44 thou. So I got these gapped. They were pretty close, although one was way high, one was way low, at least by my standards. So they're all at 44 now. I always start them by hand. I did put some, I think I already mentioned, I put some anti-seize on the threads. Oh, come here, buddy. Alright, so a good spark plug socket will have a really good boot on it, which mine is almost too good, and it holds onto that plug for you so you can set it down in here without it falling off. But it also tends to hold on to the plug a little too hard sometimes, meaning that you can't get the socket back out. So, get them all started first. And then, like I say, the back side's going to be a little tricky. I got my socket back this time. Just take your time. Give yourself plenty of time to do this. Don't set yourself up to where you're in a hurry, because that's when you make mistakes. So on my friend's car, with the little Nissan, you can go back and watch that video. He had a friend help him change out the plugs, and it's just a little 4-cylinder, and all of a sudden it wasn't running very good. Well, the last plug that they did, the boot must have fallen off of the little inside of a spark plug socket. I'll show you if I can get out of here. There's this little rubber piece down in here. Probably can't even see it. Yeah, there's a little rubber piece down in there. Well, that part actually stayed on top of the spark plug. Well, the problem with that is then when he went to go put the coil on, because these are coil over plug engines, he went to go put the coil on, and it wasn't making connection. It was arcing. So it was running basically on 3 cylinders, maybe 3.5. I'm sure he was getting some spark through there. Alright, so now I'm going to tighten them up. I don't know what the torque spec is on these, but just a little bit more than a good snug is usually plenty. I did put anti-seize on here so that they won't rust in, or hopefully threads will gall. Okay, so you can look up the torque spec on yours. Okay, now let's put the new coils in. Nothing special here. They just go in and you plug them in. This one already has a bolt in it. Came with it. That's kind of slick, actually. No need or reason to use power tools for this. You don't want to break stuff. You want to be able to feel it when it's going together. just in case something doesn't feel right when you're putting it together. You're not forcing it with some torque monster thing you're using because you're trying to save 10 seconds. Alright, one on there. We'll do another one because this second one here will be easier for you to see. Do this middle one. And that's really all there is to changing out the coils on a coil-over plug engine. Not much to it. Each vehicle is going to have its own eccentricities for what you have to remove to access things. But there's really not a whole lot to it. Like I say, the plugs are tight. Push that down in there. There we go. And then she just goes down in. Again, you don't want to use a power tool on this if you can avoid it, because you want to feel how things are going together. No reason to force it. Now I could have used my really lightweight drill if I wanted to, because that thing has no torque to it. But that's still overkill. Okay, same thing here. You can see, just push that on there till it clicks and it catches on here, so you know it's on all the way. And just rinse and repeat. You got to do it 6 times. I don't think you're going to get much of a show on this one, but it kind of maybe will help you, kind of show you how to sneak it in here. So sneak her in there, and then I turned it. I'm just going reverse of how I got it out of here. Turned it, and then down she goes. Now get that square. No, yeah, see, like in that case, see, I don't want to start it crooked. Let me go get my, this would be a good chore for the swivel head. Again, I've got like nothing metal to put my light on. So close to getting it on there proper. I suppose I could just fit a regular wrench in there too. Why? Why you gotta be so difficult? You're not funny no more. Get down in there. There we go. Which is funny because I didn't have that much problem getting it out. Going back in, I suppose it is a different bolt. There we go. Same thing. Maybe this one you can see a little bit better. I'll zoom in on it. But that's your connection right there. Oh, let's see if we can get the camera to... Alright. So, see this little hook right here, this little piece of plastic, that's what's going to hold it in place. So once this goes up on there, that piece needs to kind of click. See, so right where I have it right now, that is not on there all the way. Okay, and you can see there's a bit of a gap back here too. There we go. Now she's hooked in there. She can't come off. So that is 3 out of 6. Done and done. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the back side. I honestly, there is no room to get a camera in there. You just gotta have to take my word for it, because I'm not gonna be able to really see what I'm doing either. I'm just gonna be back in there feeling away. I found a way for you to see what I'm doing. I don't know if I can do what I need to do. Okay, I'm gonna need a short extension. Where's my shorty? This would be one of those times where one of those 90-degree ratchets would be nice, the electric ones. Okay, so I'm just going to push that down, and then I'm just going to push on the plug, the part that plugs in. Just going to push really carefully with a big fat screwdriver, so I'm not going to crack it. Just push back. There we go. That's off of there. Now, no idea how I'm going to get that back on the new one. Of course, some of the challenge I'm having here is because I'm trying to film this and show you what's going on. So that's off of there. So now the coil should just come out. If I think of it, I'm going to call the dealership and ask them how much they charge for this. There we go. Little pry bar. Looks like that's an AC line or something that's in my way. Alright, same thing. I spun it. See how I spun it? There we go. Okay, honestly, it's only been a couple of minutes, and I have the other coils out already. Well, I got them loose. Just have to pull them out of here. Unplugging the coils was not a problem. Getting the bolts out, no issue at all either. So, some people might be asking why I'm changing the coils and plugs. It's because it's got over 200,000 miles on it. I've owned it since it had like 50,000, and it's never been done. So, was not getting a misfire or anything like that. So I am not going to throw away the original coils, but I am going to put these aftermarket ones in with new plugs. Oh, that one was snug. I don't like it when they're that snug. I'm always worried when they're that snug that those threads are galled. So, what you're seeing is what I'm seeing. I can't see nothing. So, don't feel like you're being left out, like I can see what I'm doing and you can't. Nope. I'm working blindly, just laying on top of the engine. Car's not jacked up, didn't disconnect the battery, nothing special. Just opened the hood and started taking her apart. Put the camera back here a little bit further. Basically, this is what I'm seeing. I mean, I'm in here a little bit further, but not much. And I'm sure not seeing anything. I'm working blind. Okay, so take the ratchet out. Spin it out the rest of the way by hand. And then, like I say, what I've been doing, once it lets loose, bring it up, and then hold on to the spark plug holder, or spark plug socket. Then I pull it out separate because there's not enough room in there once you have the spark plug on the end. Ta-da! Last one. Okay. Let's gap the other 3 and put them back in. Alright, so that set of 3 plugs actually was excellent on the gap. I like to use this gapper right here, especially on the new ones that have the really fine tip, because you can slide it right up and you can be really careful. And then it has this little piece here that you can fit. You fit under the deal to tilt it up, so you're not prying on your. You don't want to pry on the electrode. You can pry on the strap, but you don't want to pry on the electrode. If you need to close it up, you can just tap on the end, but you got to be really careful when you're prying it open, not to damage that fine little tip on these newer style plugs. Oh, and the plugs all came with this plastic cap on the end, so be sure you take that off. Should go without saying, but there's a lot of people that didn't grow up doing this stuff, and I'm hoping what I'm showing, or as much as what I can show today, I'm hoping what I'm showing is helping. Alright, so if I didn't mention before, so to mention it's a spark plug socket, so it has this rubber boot inside. Well, the reason you need that is because when you drop this in here, you don't want to drop it. You don't want to bang that end and change your gap. So you need to be really careful putting that in so that you don't change that gap. That gap is very important. Alright, so this is the two-handed part that's, again, hard to show. I can't even see what I'm doing. Just feeling around. Oh, come on. There we go. Again, don't want to drop that spark plug. And if I were to be doing this right now, if I were to drop this, I would have to take it back out and recheck the gap, because you do not want to take any chances of that being bad. It could damage your engine. It will certainly not run right. And the reason it could cause damage is if you knock that down and then she's not sparking, then a whole bunch of unburnt fuel is getting your catalytic converter, and your catalytic converter gets hot. Then you're buying a new catalytic converter, and you still got to go back in and fix the plug. So let's get it right the first time. 2 times in a row. That's not wanting to pull out. It's sticking on the end of the plug. Okay, I've got a piece of paper jammed in there so that piece won't come apart now. I'll be careful when I push it down in there not to push too hard. Again, the main trick here is do not drop your spark plug. Alright, she's tight. Now let's see if I can pull this out of here all in one piece. That's okay. All that happened there was the extension came off. And it came out all as one piece. There we go. Alright. This one, I'm going to move the camera and see if I can have you watch me, but I doubt you can. All in one piece. So yeah, a trick if you're having problems with things falling apart. It's like a piece of cardboard from the spark plug box. Alright, so now all I have left to do is put the coils in, plug everything in. I don't know, like I say, I don't know what a dealership would charge for this. Can't imagine it would be terribly bad. They're going to get you for OEM coils though. So you might be better off at an independent shop. So you're not paying $700 for frickin' coils when these are way cheaper than that. Again, I'll put a link in the description how much these were. Don't even know if they work yet. But I've honestly never had problems with aftermarket coils. There we go. Okay, got one more bolt on the front here to put back together over on the right side here where I took out so I could have some clearance to work on this little guy. All right. Oh. Wrong cap. Oil cap off. Out. Cover on. Oil cap back on. That's it. Done and done. Well, let's see if she starts. Take all my tools off of here so they don't go flying when I start it up. With any luck. Success. That's a pretty quiet engine for over 200,000 miles. I've been pretty happy with it. Knock on wood. She's a good runner. Keep her on a little longer. Alright, well everybody, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you have any questions, please ask. But that was pretty straightforward. There's a lot more room back there than what it looks like. So it wasn't that bad, just had to fight that getting my socket back out of there. Thanks everybody again. See you in the next video. Bye.